All right, joining us now is Alamogordo boys basketball, and brand new coach Jeremy Nee here's with us. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Charles?
Fantastic. Happy to have you here. And if you want to introduce, we also have Coach Bowman here as well. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Charles. How are you doing today?
Fantastic to see you again. And Coach, if you want to introduce the crew that you brought with you brought 4 of your players here tonight.
Sure. First of all, thank you guys for having us here at 103. Greatly appreciate the opportunity. We're super excited about this season, excited for these boys. Today I brought returning varsity player, 2 of them, right off the back, senior Diego Balderrama.
Diego, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. Happy to have you here.
We've got returning 15-year varsity letterman. We got Brett George in the house.
Brett?
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm fantastic. Happy to have you here. And you got 2 more here with you as well.
Brett's a junior, by the way, so we get him for this year and 1 more. And then I've got another junior, JonHenry, stud athlete across the board in multiple sports, but he's on the varsity squad this year. Help us out.
JonHenry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
And then we got our sophomore potentially starting point guard. That's where we're headed right now, Deontae Bynum.
All right. Deontae, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Happy to have you here. Well, we've obviously got a big group here, and Coach, stepping into a new position. What brought you back to Alamogordo? You've been in this community and graduated from AHS, right?
Yes, sir. I graduated in 1996. Played under Coach Geyer. My last 2 years of high school here. Transferred in from Oklahoma, is where I went to high school. My dad was in the Air Force. He's retired now, but he was in the Air Force, and so that's how we got here. I was gone. I walked on at Lamar Community College, played college ball up there for a year in Colorado, finished out my college career at NMSU, served in the National Guard here in New Mexico, actually served at Holloman during a joint mission after 9/11, and then been gone since. Lived in Arizona, Florida, back to Arizona, lived in Kentucky, lived in Washington as a recent, and then came home to take care of mom and dad. Mom's and dad's getting in their ages, up there in the 60s, and I'm the only child. So my wife and I, and I'm blessed to have the bride that I have. She said, we need to go home and take care of your folks. Mine are gone. They are all we have left, so let's go and take care of them because they need our help. So it just coincided that the day after we made that decision, I found out this position had posted, and I didn't expect it to after the success they had last year. Didn't anticipate Coach Voigt to be leaving, and it was 4 days after the job had posted, and I said, well, let's give it a shot. I've been coaching for several years in Phoenix, in Spokane, as well as did some camps with Eastern Oregon University, as well as Whitworth University up in the Pacific Northwest. I had the opportunity to apply, got the opportunity to interview, and super blessed to have been hired as the new boys head coach here at Alamogordo High School. I bleed black and gold, have my whole life. I never thought that I would sit in a coach's office, let alone have a whistle and blow it, leading this group of men that the man I played for, Coach Geyer, who I have tons of respect for, had a legacy here, that I get that opportunity now, 25 years later. It's a huge blessing. But even bigger than that is the fact that I have an assistant coach, Coach Bowman, I did not mention earlier. He's on this mission with me. We have very similar philosophies, very similar coaching styles, big heart for the kids. And I would not have made this transition as well as it's made in the first 3 months of being here without him co-leading this unit with me. So just super grateful to be here, super grateful for him and these boys who've already bought in what we're doing.
Yeah, Coach Bowman, how many years was it with you at the Tiger program as a coach now?
Now this will be my 7th year, going to my 7th year, yes, sir.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, throw in, obviously, you played Tiger basketball. Same, you played under Coach Geyer as well, right?
Well, actually, I didn't get the opportunity.
No, you were just after.
I was just right after. My time was with Coach Day, so that was my 4 years with Coach Day, yes, sir.
Okay, so I knew it was right around that same time, but I couldn't remember when exactly at all.
Oh yeah, but I was in the bleachers watching all those guys. I saw the fire and passion that Coach Geyer had, and it was definitely one of those things that when you were that age and you saw the dynasty that they created in the 90s. I mean, I think they're probably considered one of the best teams in the 90s in the state of New Mexico in my mind. But just watching the way that they worked and the passion and the pride that they had for Alamogordo, I mean, it made me want to be a Tiger so bad. And I really did want to play for Coach Geyer. You know, he was a legend, and he demanded a lot from you, but he also got results, you know. So, but, you know, I had a lot of respect for him growing up. I went to all of his camps every year. I did watch Coach Nee, you know, when he was playing for the Tigers and stuff too. So it's awesome to have some alumni back here on the staff with us, and to be able to kind of share those glory days and start bringing that back with us back here in Alamogordo. It's been a blessing to be with Coach Nee, and I'm very excited for this new group of young men that we have getting ready to lead this program this year.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the nice thing obviously is you're super familiar with this whole group, and you know, a lot of seniors did graduate last year, but that JV team was really good last season.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I got to give a lot of shout outs to that graduating class that we did have last year. I mean, they went through a lot too for the 3 years that they were here. I mean, with the COVID season and everything too, and to finish the way that they did was amazing. But the thing that I'm very proud of with those guys is what the leadership and the mentorship that they left behind for these young men, because these young men, you're right, with the JV season that they had last year going undefeated, they got pushed every day with that older class, and I think it helped them to prepare for that season and also further down the road. So I feel like a lot of talk. We obviously graduate a lot of people, but I think we're going to be reloading instead of rebuilding this year. I think we're going to compete, and I think we're going to be able to go out there and show some people that, hey, we may be young, but these kids know how to play ball, and they, like Coach said, they're buying in since day one, and I think they're all just excited to get ready to go. I mean, have a normal season, like you said, fans in the stands, a full schedule. It's exciting, it's basketball season. We're ready to go.
Absolutely. Brett, you're like one of the elder statesmen on the team now. You've been the young guy forever. I mean, does it feel different to be in this spot now?
Yeah, it definitely does. I'm used to, getting the hard, look, it's the freshmen coming in. We got to mess with them a little bit, but now, just trying to take what I learned from all those seniors, try to pass it on to these younger kids, lead them. Hopefully, get to state. It's definitely a different feeling. It's like my team now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you've been here for, you've been on this team for so many years now, and obviously, trying to make that transition to into a different role this year. Are the coaches expecting that out of you this year?
I think so. I mean,
I
like to hope so.
He's embraced it already. As soon as first week, he's already in there encouraging the kids verbally, leading by example by his actions, holding them accountable, stuff like that. The core leadership traits you're looking for the 1 or 2 or 3 leaders in your program, he stepped up to the plate already. So that's why I was grateful to have him for 2 years, because he's already stepped into that role as a junior.
All right. Diego, I mean, you're one of the 2 seniors that are part of this group, so I mean, you're kind of filling that role as well. I mean, obviously that's a transition for you. I mean, what are you expecting out of yourself this season?
I'd like to compete a lot more on the varsity level than I have before, because I really didn't get to compete on that level, and I had a lot of seniors, so it's different going into this new season, and I'm one of the older guys. It's weird. So yeah, I don't know. I want to compete and I want to do better, and I want to leave these guys with a good footing for next year and the year after, because I'm going to be the only one leaving. So I mean, I want them to succeed after I go.
Awesome, very good, JonHenry. I mean, you're it's been interesting watching, and you were a big basketball guy, and now you became kind of a soccer guy in there as well. But I'm guessing you still love hoops, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know. The soccer thing was just something to do, I guess.
Yeah. But is basketball still your passion?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And where do you feel like you are going into this season? I mean, you feel like you're showing some improvement in your game. What are some things that you feel like you're going to be better at going into this season?
Definitely got more confidence now, for sure. New system, new everything, new teammates. So, but learned a lot from those older guys from last year and the year. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. And Deontae, I mean, we saw you a ton on JV last year, saw you a little bit on varsity last season, but now you get the opportunity to really play a lot more varsity. What has you most excited about getting maybe some more playing time at the top level?
It's definitely different because I am a younger classman, but I feel like I do have a leadership role on the team, and I'm just excited to play with, especially this group of guys. I've been playing with them for a while, so definitely positive.
Well, if coach is expecting you to play point guard, obviously, you're going to have to be somebody who's leading the floor out there. Is that something you feel comfortable with going into the season?
Yeah, I've been playing point guard for a while now, and I'm definitely going to have to step up, and I'm ready for it.
All right, excited to see what happens there. Coach, I mean, we've got these 4 guys here. Who are some other names that we should be watching out for with Tiger basketball?
We call him the unicorn, and it's not because he has multicolored hair. His name, Jason Warren. He's a sophomore. He's about 6'2", 6'3", but he jumps out the gym. He's very athletic, very consistent shooter from 15 feet and in, jump shot-wise. Highly athletic, very physical at his age. We are expecting some great things from him. Being a young cat, there's a lot of kids I want to just put out there. We got a lot of sophomores. We're sophomore heavy. In our entire program, we have about 40 guys in our program. We're about 20 sophomores. So when 50% of your team and then a good chunk of them are varsity or sophomores, the future looks bright because we have talent at that level. The unfortunate thing is one day there are going to be 20 guys and seniors trying to compete, and there won't be that many spots. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I like Deontae's brother. He's a junior, Amarion. I call him Stash. That's his nickname from Coach right now because he's got a stash. Nothing behind that. But we like him on the perimeter. He's athletic, got some smarts with playing hoop and things of that nature. A kid that we have coming off the bench potentially. I'm not a big freshman varsity guy unless that kid is really a baller, and we put a freshman on the varsity right now, Demyron Smith. Has a nose for the ball and rebounding offensively and defensively, very physical as a freshman, and he's got some higher IQ for a kid at his age. Really excited to see what happens for him for the next 4 years. Of course, every day our motto is you got to outwork everyone. It's the acronym or the abbreviation of OWE. He's going to have to earn that every day to stay on varsity, but these guys, they know they have to outwork everybody, which starts with themselves first. Outwork every day. Who's going to get to the starting role? And just because I put you there day one doesn't mean you're there day two, day three, etc. They got to earn that day after day, and they bought into that philosophy. You're not going to be given it. It's not an entitlement thing. It's you have to earn it daily. And all the boys, all 12 of them on varsity, plus the other 28 we have in the program, they bought into that philosophy, and that's why we selected the group that we selected.
Yeah. Coach, I mean, obviously you got to see the JV last year, and that was a special group that, I mean, you knew we were going to have to make the transition into this year. What is that transition like? I mean, for somebody who hasn't played, basketball, going from the JV to the varsity level, it's a big jump, right?
Oh, it's a huge jump, and that's one thing that we always try to, stress in high school basketball. I mean, even going from middle school to ninth grade, it's different. The speed of the game gets faster, and it only gets faster as you go up to JV varsity. And again, one of the blessings that I think that Coach Voigt did, I think he did a great job of getting some of these younger kids in the system early on. That's why we have Brett here for 22 years. But it's good having them in the system early on, and because it gets them a little bit more comfortable with that speed of the game, and practicing with the varsity guys and stuff like that. And again, I mean, we graduated some pretty talented seniors. I mean, trying to guard Harlan and Yvonne and Jeremiah, those kinds of guys, like in Grayson Guetta. I mean, all these guys that just get after it every single day, and I mean, they go 100 miles an hour. I think it helps guys like Deontae and Kai and JonHenry and Brett, Diego, all these guys that are returning this year. It helped them, so that speed of the game, it's still going to be fast, because now it's like, hey, here's the reins, now you got to drive it, but I think they're going to be more prepared for it because they have kind of gone through that fire with that older group. So, again, I think Coach Voigt did a great job with setting that foundation and getting it ready to go. And like I told Coach Nee when he walked in first day, when we met and we talked about the future and things like that, I told him, hey, we're going to be young, but I think they're going to surprise you a little bit because these guys can play some ball, and, like I said, you got Brett here forever. You got JonHenry. He's been in the program now 4 years too. So, I mean, it's like I keep asking JonHenry, are you sure you're not graduating this year? Because, I mean, you've been here for a long time too. But, it's a great thing. We're blessed to have so many young kids. And, the thing that I've been telling Coach too is, these kids can play ball, but they're great young men. I said, when you're coaching, this is my 7th year coaching here. I coached a couple years in Albuquerque and stuff as well. But when you're coaching, it's more enjoyable when you have a group of kids that you actually enjoy being around, and like I told Coach, I said, we're going to be young, we're inexperienced, but they're a great group of kids. They want to work, they want to get better. I mean, of course, everybody's dream, I think, if you want to win state, of course, and of course, if you don't have that kind of dream, I feel like, why are you playing varsity basketball, or any varsity sport where you can compete for a state championship? I mean, that's the goal. And I know that these kids want it, they're hungry for it and things like that. And, I feel like if we keep working, I feel like we can compete. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we're going to win state this year and all that. I'm not that type of guy, but I feel like, hey, if we can go out there and, like Coach said, we outwork everyone every day, at least you give yourself a chance, So I'm excited for these guys. I think, from what they've seen over the years and everything like that, it's actually really exciting to see now it's your turn. It's your turn to step up, and let's see what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Brett, I mean, where do you feel like your game's at that you're going to see improvement from last year to this year? I mean, have you grown any more? Are you taller than you were last year?
Oh no, I haven't grown any. Okay. I'm still the same height.
All right. But where do you feel more comfortable with your game going into this season?
I think this summer I really tried to work on attacking the basket more, get a better shot going, and get more confident. That was my big thing last year. Is Coach didn't really have me in the game plan for shooting and all that because we had so many weapons. I didn't need to shoot, but this year everyone needs to put in. So this year I really tried to, work on shooting, get more confident, attacking the basket, worked on my vertical, jump workouts with coach every Monday. It's helped a lot, and, handling the ball a little bit, working on my passing. I've just, try to overall get better.
That's what we like to hear. Diego, I mean, how about you? Where do you feel like you've seen improvement from last year to this year in your game?
A lot of my improvement that I've seen is just mostly confidence.
Yeah.
Last year I came into the season really lacking a lot of confidence, and among other things, I just didn't feel like I was good enough to be there. And being around all of our older players like Clavon and Maya, it really helped bring up my confidence, because we would play and they were really supportive as like our older players, and it was just easier for me to gain confidence and just see that I could actually compete on this level with these players. And like our entire group now, it's a bunch of sophomores, but we spent like every practice playing and getting better and practicing with this older group. So I feel like I'm a lot better off, and so are everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, Diego, too, also, just to let you guys know, he hit the weight room really hard this summer. And when he got into the off season, I think a lot of these guys watching him lift weights are like, wow, Diego, he worked on his game physically too. So I mean, he's gotten a lot more physical, a lot stronger. So I was like, I was actually proud to see that when I saw him come back in the gym this summer. I was like, hey, Diego, you've been hitting the weight room, huh? So I think that's helped.
He'll play a big role inside for us, 4 and 5 position. He's going to be a banger. I say anything around 4 to 5 feet from the basket, I got my thumb on Diego. So.
Okay, very good. JonHenry, I mean, how about you? Where do you feel maybe more confident at going into this season than maybe previous seasons?
Definitely more confident with the ball, driving to the basket more, confidence, like Diego said, more confident. And also doing other sports like track and soccer definitely kept me more in shape and got me faster. So I'm just ready to play.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Deontae, how about you? I mean, where do you feel more confident, stronger at heading into this season?
I think over the summer I was definitely thrown in the fire, so like I've kind of gained confidence in like my skills, and like I know what I can do. So I've definitely improved from last season, like my confidence and my shots better, and just all around.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, when you're, as a coach, we can talk about coaching philosophy, but I mean, what do you want from your team? I mean, is it physicality? Is it speed up and down the floor? I mean, what are we going to see from Tiger basketball this year?
Well, first of all, we had a motto back 25 years ago. It was 32 minutes of pain. And we would love to have something similar to that. I won't steal something that we've had in the past by a great coach before. But our motto is outwork everyone. And if we can bring that blue collar, pick up our hard hat, and come to work every day, it increases our chances of winning. It's not guaranteed. You take a lot more L's than you do dubs in real life, in the real world. And what we're trying to do is set these young boys up for manhood one day. Not trying to make them men now, trying to give them tools for when they do have that chance to pull the toolbox out and become successful as a husband, as a father, as a future community member, as an adult. But more importantly is off the court. Who are we off the court? And I always say the byproduct of what we do off the court, character, academics, community, serving, etc. The byproduct of that is if we can buy into that philosophy, we bring our hard hat to work every day on the court and outwork everybody, starting with ourselves, wins will come. Like Coach Bowman said, I'm highly confident about this team, not just for the future, but right now. I think some of the goals that I have in place, we're going to talk about team goals tomorrow on an individual team level basis. They're going to be like, okay, Coach, let's go. Because the goals, they're manageable. They're they're attainable, but I think they're realistic, and it might shock them that I got a little bit higher expectation than maybe some of them do. And they've got confidence building. I hear it. I see it. But I think that this group will surprise this year, and as we move forward, what I really would hope is we can get the entire program all the way down to the 7th grade, hopefully one day the 6th grade level up. And I've already met with my middle school coaches a couple times this fall. We're going to have coaching development in the spring. I'm not looking to build a varsity. I'm looking to build a program, all 3 middle schools and the high school like it used to be, where we have the terminology that's similar. We get after you on defense first and foremost. We have this motto, #no help needed. Yeah, we're going to play help side defense, but we don't need it. We need to own our man, make sure he doesn't get to the hoop. And that's part of that mindset. A lot of kids don't have it. It's a buy-in. Am I going to do it? Because it's a grind. Every single day it's a grind. Am I committed to getting better, to get better, to get better day after day after day? Forward trajectory. And so far I think that's where we're headed, and I think that's what we got. So if my philosophy is blue-collar minded, And from when I got here, within a week, too many, which is a blessing, bought into what we're doing. We had to let some of them go in our tryouts the last 2 nights. We had 61 tryout for 40 spots, and that's huge numbers. In my coaching career, I've coached in a couple different states, a couple different programs. I've never had 61 tryout in one night, so that was pretty impressive. But these guys that are here that we selected, we are highly confident. We were 100% accurate on who we selected. And Coach Bowman and me specifically on the varsity with these 12, we're ready to roll.
Awesome. One thing I'd also mention, I mean, Coach, how important is it for a younger group to have a full season like we're having this year? I mean, to not just have 12 district games, to be able to play some of those tournaments and do some of those things. I got to think that's got to be huge for this group.
Oh, it's definitely huge. I mean, not only for the kids, but even our coaching staff. I mean, we have a Coach Black. He's taking over our JV role this year, and unfortunately for him, his first year last year coaching, he was coaching C team, and they only got to play 2 games. They were slotted for 3, but one of them got canceled due to COVID, and so 2 games, and he was like, Coach and I looked at him and was like, hey, guess what? You're gonna move up to JV, and he was like, whoa, okay, but it's good. I mean, we got him going for the JV. I think he's really excited. He's very confident. He's embracing that role, and we got Coach Johnny Lucero. He's gonna be taking over our C team this year. Former player of mine a few years ago. It's actually really cool to see him, back in the gym working with the kids and stuff like that. But he'll have a C team with a full team, and I think it's gonna be good. I mean, it helps everybody. Some of those kids that did play C team last year, they got 2 games. So it's kind of like, didn't even really get to experience high school basketball. So to have a full season, it's more exciting too that way. Of course, when you play district, that's every goal you should always have. You want to win district, So, when you get to play only district, I mean, like, hey, this is what you're playing for. But now it's like, hey, let's get our feet under us to see what this pre-district stuff is about, and it helps you get build that confidence and stuff like that. So when you're going into league play, you're ready to rock and roll. And like I always just tell the kids when I coach that C team, like, hey, we might not get a trophy at the end of the year, but we could still be the district champs. Let's go win this district, and, have those little goals. Because, like Coach said, yeah, you're going to take a lot of L's in life, but those W's, they should mean something to you, even if it is at the C team. Because, unfortunately, sometimes that's the only level you play at, So, but, and like Coach said, it's a good thing. It's a blessing to have so many kids that want to try to get into the program and things like that. And it's always tough. Like we always talk about as coaches, like you love coaching, tryouts are the worst week. Because, you got to tell kids that gave you everything that they have, hey, sorry, it's not going to work for you this year, but work on this and let's try again next year. I always tell kids, hey, prove me wrong. Come back next year and prove me wrong, But with having that blessing of having that many kids trying out and everything like that, it means it's showing that Tiger basketball is coming back, and we're ready to start making that impact again like we used to in the state. So having a full season, I'm so excited. Like we tell the kids, hey, mask, no mask, whatever. Hey, you get a full schedule. Let's go play ball. So we're ready to have fun.
Absolutely, it should be a fun year for sure. Brett, getting fans back in the stands. I know you guys had 1 game last year, I think, with fans. Maybe it was a couple of them. Yeah, 2. Okay, I couldn't remember it. It all kind of blended. Everything blended together last year. It was hard to tell. Is that something that has you really excited, or is there something else that has you really excited for this season?
Yeah, I mean, as a freshman, we had full fans. That was, right before COVID. That was one of the best experiences that I've ever felt, running out of that with the warm-up music. You get the fans hyped up. I mean, we didn't have many dunkers back then, but now we do. So, we'll get the fans hyped, and then just, they always got our support, and they're always, I guess we're calling the student section the jungle this year. So hopefully hopefully we can get that packed. It's a great feeling. I'm excited for these younger guys because it's going to be their first time feeling it, and it just brings a whole nother joy to basketball. It's going to be exciting.
And talk a little about this group of guys. I mean, you've been on a lot of teams. What do you like about this group of guys? What brings you the most pleasure out of playing with these guys?
These kids, man, they work. They work really hard. I mean, they're respectful. They give in to the program, and I also see a lot of young leaders coming out. With that old varsity team 2 years ago, we had leadership issues, and that's why we weren't. We had some problems. We didn't make it as far as we wanted to. But now with these younger kids, I feel like their leadership it's there. It's it's slowly coming along. But when they're junior, senior, it's gonna be here, and it's gonna be when I leave, they're gonna be fun to watch. I'm gonna come down and watch y'all.
Well, hopefully they're fun to watch this year, next year too, while you're here. So, Diego, having the fans back in the stands. I mean, what does that mean for you? Having some people out there that is going to watch you?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different because in the past couple of years we really couldn't have any fans. and so it was hard keeping up energy and keeping up our like mental and our mindsets and getting into the game. It was just difficult. It's really a different experience when you have people there to watch you play and cheer you on and support you.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about this group of guys? What do you like about them?
It's just so they've been here for a long time. I think they got here in like 8th grade, right? Yeah. And it's just watching them improve. They improve like crazy. Like Jason was already varsity level in his freshman year. He's a beast. And then every one of our guards, Kai, they're really skilled. And I think playing with our like the older team really helped them out a lot. And it's just seeing them improve so fast. They're going to be a good group. And it kind of sucks that I'm not going to be here for it.
Gotcha. JonHenry, I mean, fans back in the stands, what's your favorite part about having that crowd there to pump you guys up?
Definitely the noise, after a big shot, you get the crowd going and stuff like that, and also inspiring somebody. I remember coming and watching the Tigers like D and Abner and all those guys, and just watching them and wanting to be a part of it. So it's cool to be a part of it now. So.
You're part of a lot of teams at AHS. What do you like about this boys basketball team?
Definitely the diversity, I guess, on the team. He's tall.
You got some speed.
Yeah,
you got some strong guys.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
All right. So you're basically saying you feel like there's a lot of different kind of talent.
Yeah,
on this team,
yeah.
Right? Okay. I hear what you're saying, JonHenry. I got you, buddy. Deontae, if you can follow that, obviously. having some fans back in the stands. Are you excited about that this year?
I'm definitely excited because whenever I was in 8th grade, we had a little crowd in the Aux Gym on C team, but ever since then we haven't really had a crowd. And after hitting, a big shot or whatever, and just getting that momentum, especially from the fans and all that energy, really just helps out. And it's a really exciting feeling. And even I remember as a kid just coming to watch the Tigers play, I just always wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, and this group of guys, I mean, obviously not just the ones here, but the ones you've been playing with, what do you think special about this team?
We have a lot of chemistry, and especially as like the group I came up with in 8th grade, my team, my traveling team, Otero Rebels, we've had a lot of chemistry over the years and built it a lot. And even these guys, the ones that aren't on my team, my AAU team, they're really accepting, and they really brought us into it and really led us through like the program and made us comfortable.
All right, that's what we'd like to hear. Well, Coach, I mean, overall, your expectations for this group, I know we talked a lot about it, but where do you think this team can go? Are you looking just incremental things throughout the season, or you have obviously the big goals at the end of the year?
Yeah, our goal is day by day, try to get better, forward trajectory week after week. I can see this team competing for top 3 in the league this year. Cruces is going to be the beast. Cruces in district with all those seniors, that size, the Deuce, etc., the 7-footer. It's going to be a battle, but I'll be honest. I want to go over there and I would love to beat them on their court and at home as well. So I can see us finishing top 3 in the league. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. But forward trajectory week after week. And to get the fans back, COVID up in Washington was worse than it was here, and it was pretty bad. We were on lockdown. We didn't even have basketball season start till May of this past spring. I finished basketball season in June, a couple days before I interviewed for this job. So it was bad. We had our season moved 5 times before they finally set the date for us to play, and we only got 10 games. We didn't have any. It was all legal as well, and it was tough. So. To have fans in the stands, I played here when our fans were so packed. We had the fire marshal with people in the hallway because there was nobody left to go in the stands, if you remember the 90s. And if we could get anything close to that, I always talk about A-Town's finest. I always talk about Alamogordo pride. I always talk about Tiger pride. We always talk about bleed black and gold. We're ready. We're done with COVID being out of the gym, no fans. We're ready to get the fans back. We're ready to go out there and perform for our community and represent this town like we used to. So when the Alamogordo Tigers bus rolls into town, people are like, "Oh crap, here we go." we got a battle on our hands. The same way people felt that way about Hobbs back in the day, I want Hobbs to feel that way about us again. So that's where our trajectory's headed. Week after week, get better. See where it takes us when league starts in January.
All I look forward to it. You guys have Tiger Madness coming up on Saturday night, 4 p.m., both the boys and the girls team. That's going to be a fun event coming up on Saturday evening or late afternoon, 4 o'clock. So you guys are looking forward to that, I would assume.
Absolutely. We're gonna do some bring out the players. The boys and girls varsities are gonna do their warm-up routine, do some player announcements. We're gonna have a little 3-on-3 competition, boys versus girls. Then we're gonna have a mini girl scrimmage. The boys coaches are gonna ref that game, and then they're gonna flip, and then we'll have a mini scrimmage. The girls coaches will ref our game, and then we'll do a little promo, announce all the players, whoever are there from our lower level teams, make sure we get the whole program promoted. And that's just kind of kick off the season. It's kind of like Midnight Madness, but at 4 p.m.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier for everybody to get out there. And then, of course, season opens on the 27th at Carlsbad. That'll be a girls-boys doubleheader over there as well, so looking forward to it very much. Guys, good luck this season. We appreciate you coming in. Coach, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Coach, nice to meet you, and excited for the season.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Go Tigers.
Thank you.